for our new episode of English Podcast, a podcast that is all about teaching and assessment of the macro skills. Today, let's talk about the guidelines for effective reading. Right now, we have a very special guest, a second-year student taking Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English at Romblon State University, Romblon Campus, Miss Johanna Kate M. Medina. It's a pleasure to have you, ma'am.
Yes, the pleasure is mine. It's my honor to be the guest in your podcast.
Thank you for that. So, let's get to the point. Guidelines for effective reading. Miss Johanna Kate, what do you mean by effective reading and how to be an effective reader?
Well, to be an effective reader, it requires skills and understanding. Each of these skills and understanding is crucial in its own right, but they all take place within an overall focus on meaning, making which is the central purpose of all literate behavior.
So, what are the several guiding principles for effective reading?
The several guiding principles are: be clear about your goal in reading a material. Know what you really want to find out. Adapt the proper technique based on your purpose and the type of the material. Decide whether you need skimming, scanning, etc. Be familiar with the format and structure of the material. It helps if you are aware of the basic parts of the story. Just for example, the setting, the episodes, and the ending. Knowledge of the author's background will prove to useful in understanding the selection. Full concentration plays a very important role in reading. Lastly, a wide vocabulary will be very helpful.
Reading is not a simple task, and therefore, you should be aware of some practices which must be avoided when reading. They are vocalizing, word by word blocking, and monotonous plodding. Can you explain what are those?
Well, vocalizing is the act of sounding each word as if you are reading aloud. It eventually slows down your reading. Word by word is done when you look at one word at a time just to be sure you understand it. This initiates obscurity in the overall meaning of the sentences or paragraphs. Word blocking happens when you stop to worry about unfamiliar words, and monotonous plodding, which refers to the act of keeping the same pace of reading for all kinds of materials, from light fiction to heavy materials.
Thank you for that information. And now, let's talk about a very helpful method that can be applied to reading in the various subject areas. So, what are the following steps used?
Survey. Initially, get an overall sense of your learning task by skimming on the whole project to get hold of some ideas about the material. Question. Change headings to questions to set your purpose for reading. Read to answer the questions that you have previously formed. Recite without referring to your book. Try to answer the questions you have formed. And review. Go over the material and check how will you remember important ideas you are supposed to remember.
Reading effectively means reading is a way that helps you understand, evaluate, and reflect on a written text. As you might guess, these skills are very important to students. No matter what field you're going into, you'll be doing a lot of reading.
And that's all for today. Thank you for listening.